But more developments coming in. The whole world is watching with concern. EU foreign policy chief has now said that Strait of Hormuz must return to status quo, and they will be meeting with the officials from the Gulf countries in order to come to some sort of an understanding on this matter. Akanksha, it seems like everyone is concerned about the fallout of this round one, just when one started thinking that probably the supply was going to come down to normal, probably the things will go back to normal. Everything stands where it was a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, absolutely. And it is now a global worry of, we are rather back to the global worry of crude supplies coming to a screeching halt. Moreover, the price of Brent crude also now hitting sky. It's in fact now a bloodbath that we can see play out at the global markets, Priya. And that is why EU also has a role to play over here in terms of its responsibility to reach out to their own Mid-Eastern allies that they have. Because after the NATO summit wrapped up, the US president literally threw egg in their face by shaming them that despite his assistance to EU when it came to the war in Ukraine with Russia, it is not, NATO has in fact not given any kind of support to the United States in this war with Iran. So here's perhaps the EU chief for foreign affairs, that is Kaya Kallas, in fact making that statement. She's been extremely engaged with the foreign ministers from EU nations, along with that of UK as well. But let's hope that they are able to drill some sense into the US when it comes to the ongoing peace negotiations. The US president has already made it amply clear that the war will continue, even though the meetings are very much on. On Saturday, in fact, the Omani foreign minister met with the Iranian foreign minister Abbas Araghchi, and they both discussed the proposition of dividing control over the Strait of Hormuz and territorial waters between Iran and Oman. So can EU play a role over here? Maybe perhaps by reaching out to the mediators in West Asia. But remember, these very mediators, whether it is Qatar or Oman, they are allies to the United States, yes, and Oman is equally close to Iran, and yet it is getting targeted because just yesterday,
yes,
Iran also targeted Oman. So what is the position of these mediators itself is being questioned, and how much of a role can EU play? The meetings and diplomacy is very much taking place, but that doesn't seem to have delivered any
You
concrete
spoke of driving some sense, Akanksha, but there's nothing sensible right now about what is happening in geopolitics. But we really sincerely hope that some sensible conclusions are reached between US and Iran. Thank you, Akanksha, for joining us with your inputs on that story. We're shifting our focus now to another development.